Here are the top 5 most devastating earthquakes recorded in history. Number 1. The Haiwen Earthquake. The Haiwen Earthquake in China in 1920 was one of the deadliest earthquakes in recorded history, with an estimated magnitude of 8.5. The quake struck on December 16 and affected the Haiwen, Ningxia, and Gansu provinces, causing widespread destruction and resulting in over 200,000 deaths. The earthquake was also responsible for triggering landslides and creating several new lakes due to the collapse of the ground. The Haiwen earthquake occurred along the boundary of the Indian Plate and the Eurasian Plate, which are two of the largest tectonic plates that make up the Earth's crust. The intense seismic activity along this boundary is responsible for many of the world's largest and most destructive earthquakes. In addition to the significant loss of life and property, the Haiwen earthquake also had a long-lasting impact on the region's infrastructure and economy. Many roads, bridges, and other transportation systems were severely damaged, making it difficult to transport goods and people. The earthquake also triggered a large number of landslides, which caused additional damage and made it difficult for relief efforts to reach the affected areas. Despite the widespread devastation, the Haiwen earthquake has also been the subject of scientific study, as researchers have attempted to better understand the causes and effects of earthquakes. The Chinese government took steps to improve the resilience of buildings and infrastructure, and to better prepare for future earthquakes. Number 2. The Shanxi Earthquake. The earthquake was so intense that it caused the ground to crack and shift, creating new rivers and lakes and triggering massive landslides. The quake struck on the morning of January 23 and affected the Shanxi province, causing widespread destruction and resulting in an estimated death toll of 830,000 people. The Shanxi earthquake in China in 1556 was one of the deadliest earthquakes in recorded history, with an estimated magnitude of 8.0. In addition, the disaster resulted in a significant loss of cultural and historical heritage, as many important buildings, structures, and artifacts were destroyed. Number 3. The Sumatra Earthquake. The Sumatra earthquake in Indonesia in 2004 was one of the largest earthquakes in recorded history, with a magnitude of 9.1. The quake struck on December 26 and was followed by a massive tsunami that caused widespread destruction and loss of life along the coastlines of several countries in the Indian Ocean region. In Indonesia, the earthquake and tsunami caused widespread damage and resulted in over 230,000 deaths. The disaster struck the province of Aceh on the northern tip of Sumatra Island, one of the hardest hit areas. Many towns and villages were completely destroyed, and large portions of the region's infrastructure, including roads, bridges, and communication networks, were severely damaged or completely wiped out. Number 4. The Lisbon Earthquake. The Lisbon earthquake in Portugal in 1755 was one of the largest earthquakes to hit Europe in recorded history, with an estimated magnitude of 8.7. The quake struck on November 1 and was followed by a massive tsunami that caused widespread damage and loss of life in Lisbon and the surrounding areas. The earthquake was felt throughout the Iberian Peninsula, and its effects were felt as far away as North Africa and the Caribbean. The quake caused widespread destruction in Lisbon, with many buildings collapsing and many others severely damaged. The tsunami that followed the earthquake added to the destruction, as waves swept across the harbor and inundated the city. The disaster resulted in an estimated death toll of between 10,000 and 100,000 people, and left thousands more homeless and without access to food, clean water, and medical care. Despite the tragedy of the Lisbon earthquake, the disaster has also been a source of inspiration and intellectual inquiry. The earthquake sparked new debates about the nature of earthquakes and the causes of natural disasters, and it served as a catalyst for new scientific and philosophical investigations into the workings of the natural world. Today, the memory of the Lisbon earthquake is preserved as a testament to the resilience and determination of the human spirit in the face of adversity. Number 5. The Sichuan Earthquake. The Sichuan earthquake in China in 2008 was one of the deadliest earthquakes in recent history, with a magnitude of 7.9. The quake struck on May 12 and affected the Sichuan province, causing widespread damage and loss of life. The earthquake caused significant damage to infrastructure and buildings in the affected areas, with many structures collapsing and others severely damaged. The disaster resulted in an estimated death toll of over 68,000 people, and injured over 375,000 others. The Sichuan earthquake serves as a reminder of the devastating power of earthquakes and the importance of being prepared for these types of disasters. The Chinese government launched a massive relief and recovery effort, and significant progress has been made in improving disaster preparedness and response efforts. These tragic incidents had significant impact on the regions, causing widespread homelessness. The earthquake also disrupted trade and commerce, leading to widespread poverty and economic hardship. There was a massive humanitarian crisis, as thousands of people were left without access to food, clean water, and medical care. On the flip side, the incidents taught the affected countries and the world lessons on the importance of preparedness and disaster response. The disaster has also helped to raise awareness on the importance of seismic safety and the need for better monitoring and early warning systems to help protect people and communities from future earthquakes and tsunamis. Lessons learned has also been used to develop new earthquake-resistant building techniques that helps to minimize the impact of future earthquakes. The international community rallied to provide assistance and support to the affected countries, and significant progress has been made in improving disaster preparedness and response efforts. Over time, the affected areas have been rebuilt and recovered, and the memory of the disaster has been preserved through literature, art, and other forms of cultural expression. Hope the video was insightful. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to this channel for more valuable content.